rid of you. God.
Whoa, you look tired, man. Everything okay?
I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with sleeping on the floor?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Of course not. You have your cozy captain's bed.
All right, no need to be so dramatic about it. I'll get you a proper dorm.
Sounds like a promise.
Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough? Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which could only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wow, you're right. That's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information. And that's the interesting part. Yeah. Our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board. But there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now? Why don't you rest a little? Get accustomed to the new reality? Which part of what I just said makes you think I'm not ready to start immediately? Well, in that case, your situation must be critical considering the lengths you went to. Something tells me there's no time to lose. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. This might work.
All done. Should I take care of this now? What's up?
Hey, I built that dormitory you asked for.
Hallelujah.
I hope you sleep well tonight.
I'll sleep like a full-fledged member of an advanced civilization.
Sweet dreams, then.
These loose rocks look like they might be passable. If only I had a tool to drill through them.
These rocks look like they might be passable. If only I had a tool to drill through them.
I do this now? About time. I'm in some deep shit here.
So you're not at your destination yet?
I'm stuck. We're stuck. There's a freaking lava river blocking our way.
Do you think you can cross it?
I don't know. Still working on it. Anyway, you can help me?
I can try. I have a limited view of the surface of your planet, but there is one thing you could do.
What's that?
You have a lot of very useful tech on board that base. It's designed to overcome practically any obstacle. All you need is a properly trained crew, if you know what I mean.
More altars. Is that all you have for me?
You still don't get it, do you? That's a lot. If it helps, I have some news for you. Good news and, well, just news.
Hit me with the good news first.
A rescue party is being organized.
Organized. You mean they're not on their way yet? What the hell are you waiting for?
Mr. Dosky, please, calm down. No matter how long the procession, it will always end up in church.
What?
Just the thing my grandma used to say when I was a kid and tired of doing my homework.
Except this is not about your homework.
Sure. But you gotta understand, your mission got dispatched pretty far away. We still haven't mastered teleporting.
How long do you think it'll take them to get organized?
All I can say is, they know it's an emergency.
Wow. That long?
Don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm really trying to help.
So, what's the other news?
Well, I know you have a lot on your plate right now, but there's a request from my boss directly. Before we get you out of there, we want you to retrieve as much rupidium as possible.
Figures. They don't want to lose their chance. Probably worthless to your higher-ups without rupidium anyway.
It's sure gonna give your rescue mission wings, if that's your kind of incentive.
Of course.
My boss will want to speak to you shortly. And you'll see how important it is. He's not some kind of empty three-piece suit, if that's what you're afraid of. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but it was his idea to, you know, let you in on the branching procedure. By the way, is your altar doing any better?
Yeah. We're getting along pretty well now. Thanks.
That's very good to hear.
Is this about you wanting to talk to him again?
No. No, none of that. My boss put it out of my mind. That's not to mess things up even more.
So, you admit it's a mess.
What? No, we just... You know what? I'm not commenting on that. Talk to my boss about it.
Tell me more about this boss of yours. You mention him a lot.
He's the head of mining operations. Great mind, very open. You'll see. Doesn't normally do this, you know. Talk to people on space missions in person.
Oh, I feel so blessed.
You should. He saved your life, in a way.
What's gonna happen to my altars back on Earth?
I don't know. I'm sure my boss will think of something. He always knows what to do.
You either really trust him or you're very good at not saying anything.
Maybe both? I'm not a natural talker.
Ever tried working on it? You know, with a professional?
Not really. But my sister wanted to be a therapist and she practiced on me when I was 5.
Oh? And how did that go?
She turned to breeding hamsters. I hope you're not laughing.
Your family seems interesting. Got any more stories about them?
It's a big family. Brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles. Yours?
I was the only child.
Wow. Can't imagine how that feels. Anyway, no time to talk about families now, right?
Okay. I better get back to work then.
Yes. Just remember about the Rapidian, Mr. Dalsky. And wait for contact from my boss.
I'm also Jan, obviously. This will never not be weird. Anyway, make yourself at home.
Cheers. So, how are you? Settling in all right? Settling in is overrated. I analyze reality from wherever I am, however uncomfortable the angle. There's always an observation to be made. I'd love to hear what you managed to observe. This place is not run optimally. Yeah, I know. I wasn't trained to command a mission. But now that you're here, with your experience, I'd love to pick your brain. Do you think you could mentor me? Good thinking. First of all, you need to set long-term goals and draw up a roadmap for each of them. Remember to include all unpredictable variables in the equation. That way you can have contingency plans at the ready for each instance. All right, slow down. Prioritize resources. Do not waste time on idle conversations with the crew. Hide the booze. Don't be cheap on coffee. That's slow enough for you? Hey, you've just crossed out every team-building exercise on my list. The people are there for the mission, not the other way round. Truth is, I really wish we could make use of the tech I worked on for all these imaginary years. It would make things so much easier if it existed. So what exactly was your research about? Nanotech in space exploration. We went from a humble startup to making headlines in a few months. Taking our solutions to the front line was my dream come true. The data we could bring back. You had big plans for it. Well, now it's all gone. Yeah, I understand how lousy that must feel. Honestly, I don't think you do. But I hope we're not going to sit around crying about it. There's work to be done, here and now. That's true. Well, let's get to it then.